Hello, everyone. This is English with Adam, another English lesson for you. So, for this lesson, we're going to go over ways of speaking. We have multiple ways of speaking. Firstly, as you can see in the center top, it says speak, which is to talk normally, as I'm doing to you now. Moving to our right, we have chat. It's have a friendly conversation. So, the chat, they can also say like a small talk. Small talk is kind of having chat. You'll hear sometimes people will say chit chat, having a chit chat, which is like a small talk. And the thing about a chat is it's usually an informal conversation. That's why it says here have friendly conversation, right? Moving along, the next one says shout, which is speak loudly to get attention. So if you're shouting and it's yelling, also that's another one we can say yelling and shouting. So that's when you raise your tone, raise the volume and tone of your voice where you're literally yelling. I'm not going to do it right now, but I think you guys can get the picture there. So that's shouting, shout. And underneath that one, you have whine. Now, we think of whine, we think of crying and complaining. When you're talking, when you're sad, the explanation here says complain in a sad, annoying voice, because annoying, they put the word annoying here because typically, like if you're a baby or a toddler, they're whining, they're crying. Yeah, typically the parents or the guardian would say, stop whining, stop crying, or complaining, right? So that's what whining is. It's basically talking when you're sad and you're, you know, annoying and complaining. Moving along, they have stammer here, which stammer is not used often in American English, but it is here. Stammer says sudden involuntary pause. Repeat initial letters. Okay. So that's just one thing to take away. It's not often used, but it's good to know, right? Moving along, they have hiss. Hiss. And as you can kind of hear how I'm saying that, hiss. The emphasis is on the two S's at the end of the word, hiss. You think of like a snake. A snake is a long tongue, and a snake kind of makes a unique sound. The snake hisses, whereby a dog barks, right? Or an owl will howl, or a wolf will howl. So let's get back to hiss. Say with a loud whisper if you're hissing something. So the frequency, the volume will be louder, but there's also a whisper included. So it's kind of tricky to explain this one, but I think my explanation with the snake points it out perfectly. You're hissing like a snake. And next one obviously is talk, which can be the same as speak or chat. Talk is just merely talking as I'm doing right now. Speak to give information. I am talking to you, the public, the audience, right? And then the last one here, we have bark. As I said earlier, in comparison to hiss, bark is typically like a dog. Roof, roof, right? Dogs bark. And it says here, say quickly in a loud voice. Now, the thing is, as well, as far as in human relation, we can say bark, where the explanation here says say quickly in a loud voice. You'll have two human beings. Like say I've had an instance like this before in a working environment where someone I was working with, I kind of in a loud voice, I told him something and he turned around and was like, don't bark at me. You'll often hear people say, don't bark any orders at me. So it's usually in kind of like a power dynamic situation, or maybe say employer, employee, boss, worker type of scenario, or, maybe parents and child. But usually, in that situation, yeah, they'll say a bark. You're in a loud voice, quickly. You're telling someone to do something. So that's in human relation, but specifically, like I said, with dogs, they typically bark. But all of this here is in relation to humans. So I'm giving you all the information in regards to that. This is the ways of speaking. There's many more, but I just wanted to follow this kind of diagram we have here. I think this is really good illustration to point things out. I hope this was helpful for you guys. If you guys have any questions, please post a comment, hit the like button, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you for listening.